Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser, talking today about being observant. And I know that I have worked incredibly hard at becoming more and more observant as one of my leadership skills, as one of my communication skills, as one of my sales skills, i.e. serving skills, because it makes a massive difference. And candidly, it actually makes life so much more engaging and so much more fun. So how observant are you? I would challenge yourself over the next week or two to really think, what did I observe in other people? And observing takes quite a few of your resources that you have, and I'll go through those for a minute. When I'm truly observing somebody, I am listening only with the intent to listen. When I'm observing something, I'm listening with the intent to listen, not the intent to respond. When I'm observing something, I am visualizing and watching only to learn and to feel what they are trying to tell me or do. I'm watching, I'm paying attention, right? I might also be aware of the surroundings, and I'll cue in on that in a minute, but I'm paying attention to those things. I'm watching for their body language. I'm listening to their tone, and I'm absorbing, if you will, because I'm observing at a deeper level, because I'm truly fully present. And that's really what being observant is. It's aware. This is a skill that I believe that, and I've talked about it before, that I actually think women have a little more observation skill on the normal than sometimes men do. So you really have to train yourself to become more observant. Maybe to walk into a room and look around and recognize something, and you be able to cue in on it, to be able to listen to somebody when they talk. And one of the things that I do to be more observant is when somebody's talking, I repeat things back in my head that they're saying. Sometimes I'm writing, physically taking notes so that I can grab hold and remember, or I'm actually asking them further questions about what they just said so that it will resonate at a deeper level with me. Really big deal. The other thing that I'll do sometimes is put correlation in my head and then be able to articulate that back to them so that I'm observing. People in general love to feel seen. They love to feel valued. And I know that when you want to really influence and create depth of relationship, you become observant, and it makes you feel more sincere to people, more trusted to people, right? More in tune, if you will. You feel more connected in general because you're aware. And I can tell you this works for parenting, it works for marriage, it works for friendships, and it certainly works and moves the dial in business. And so one of the things that I would ask you is, how many things this week already, whenever you listen to this podcast, can you recollect that you've observed when it comes to other human beings? And what did you observe about them? What did you observe about them? Did you observe how they laugh, how they smile, the sports team they were wearing on their shirt, maybe the shoes that they have, or the keychain that was resting on the desk that had something that you could make conversation around? Did you ask some questions and observe how their body language shifted when they talked about the importance of a backyard at that home? When you met with a referral partner, did you observe, right, how they were dressed, how they carried themselves, what their tone was? Listening to maybe their journey through real estate or family dynamics or things that you can cue in on. And what I will tell you is that being more observant not only made my life more fun, if you will, in the day-to-day interactions of people. I am fascinated by human beings. Absolutely fascinated. Fascinated by somebody who is immediately warm in a room, and equally fascinated to a degree of somebody who is very cold or they're hard. People that I joyfully answer the phone for and why, and people that I dread and why. And when you're observing all of those things, you're using, and I've done podcasts on this just in general, you're using life as a tool to teach you constantly because you're choosing to be present. And they say that total present, because we're always working from a place of imagination or history, that we don't truly spend more than 7 total days. So think about that, 24 hours times 7. I don't even know that math. I'm not going to do it in my head right now, and I'm not going to grab a calculator. But 24 times 7 full days is the average amount of time a human being is truly present. Average in the world. That is bananas to me. And so we don't do a great job of being fully present. We don't do a great job of being observant. And if you go into something being observant, you can't really observe and not be present. You can be in a place and not be there. We all know that. We all know when somebody's not really where their feet are planted, right? Where they're sitting, where they're standing. We know it when somebody's on the phone and they're not really engaged in the conversation that we're having. We're all guilty of being that person. We're also all victims, if you will, of being on the other end where you hope somebody is present listening and they're really not. And when somebody recognizes those things, it makes especially leadership for me and parenting a lot of fun because you know your children at a deeper level when you're truly observant of them. You can identify what makes them unique. You know what makes your marriage unique in different little places because you're observant of things and you identify with somebody when somebody's doing something. There's things that my husband does that I love. And sometimes I identify those and I share those with him. I'll give you an example. On the general rule of thumb, in the morning when he passes by me in the restroom, not to get too personal, and I'm getting ready on the general rule of thumb, he generally brushes my back as if to say, in addition to that, good morning. When I walk into the house at night, we generally walk over to each other and give each other a kiss. When you don't talk about things like that out loud, when you're not observant that, hey, I really love that and I miss that when it doesn't happen, then things start to fall by the wayside in your day-to-day interactions in any relationship when you're not observant of what really fuels this and makes this better? And then what's missing or is making it worse, right? Sometimes tone, that's something that we observe in one another, my husband and I. There are a lot of different things. But if you're simply constantly thinking, I need to respond, I want to talk, when's my space, or I want to check out, I'm half there, I'm in 5 places at once, it means you're no place. And I've been very guilty. I'm a masterful multitasker in my own mind, but I know it doesn't serve people well. And so over the years, I've gotten stronger and stronger and stronger at sometimes sitting on my hand, biting my tongue, and simply using my eyes and my ears to digest all that is happening, all that is around me, so that I can be keyed in and stay relevant to the conversation, to my reaction to things. If you really think about it, we've all had a moment probably when we weren't fully present and you've had to say to somebody, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I wasn't really listening. Or I'm sorry, my brain drifted off. We've all been there and we'll all be there again in our life multiple times, I'm sure of it. But what a difference it is when you've really listened to somebody and later you can send them a follow up text and say, hey, I really thought about everything that you said. I'm praying for you over this. Or, I had a thing where if a realtor gave me a quote they loved or a number that they were wanting to hit or a big, hairy goal that they were seeking, I would have something made for them. Didn't have to be expensive even. Amazon's a great tool in this space. You can just put in the number 100 and it will literally bring up a gaggle of items that you could purchase. And you can do this thoughtful follow-up. Oh gosh, I've never had a massage. Ding, ding, ding. This is a book, Mr. Schmooze, which is incredible. Unreasonable Hospitality plays in on this a lot. When you're fully present, you're truly observing, you're catching things, and you're having fun finding where you can backfill value, where you can backfill a smile, where you can backfill help or support, encouragement, prayer, just a nudge, if you will, that says, I saw you, I heard you, I engaged with you, and I followed up beautifully with you because I was present, not thinking anything about myself, but simply fully engaged in learning from you, learning about you, and being part of what you have to say. So if you're struggling with it just feels like work, it feels like a rat race. It feels like a grind. Nobody's listening to me. I'm not getting the responses that I want. I'm not getting the attraction or the follow up or the commitment from clients and referral partners. I'm not getting team members to stay. I would challenge you, work on how well you observe. Work on how well you take observing into actionable items that show people how much you truly care and how you are truly engaged in their life. And I promise you, the business gets a lot more fun. Parenting becomes a blast. Marriage gets better. There are a million things. Faith increases dramatically. I won't even get into the observations of the relationship you can create with Jesus when you're really paying attention on my side from a Christian space. There are so many wins. And so check yourself on, am I being observant enough? Could I reflect this week? I could tell you 20 stories right now about conversations I've had with people, wins and losses they've had, burnouts, hard life events, wins, successes, challenges, all the different things. And I could literally rattle them off. And the only reason is my brain stored them differently because I was able to be fully present. So give yourself that gift, and I promise you work will feel a lot less like work and a lot more like just relationships in life. If this was helpful, I hope that you share it. I'll see you hopefully on the next Wild.